I want to go in now and show you on your section where these teams and term restrictions and that go. So I'm going to open up the schedule section. And I'm just going to pull up one section. Doesn't matter, they're all the same. Now, if I needed to make changes to this section, so this section came in from 1920, and let's say that this staff member is no longer with us or not teaching this course, and I need to change this staff member and change it to a new staff member. All that I need to do is go into the section. I'm simply going to click on the paperclip, and I can start typing the last name that I'm looking for. And I'm going to say, oh, okay, Miss Smith is going to be teaching this now. I simply choose the name. And I get this because I'm on your training site, so don't worry about that if you see it. And you know what? She's not in room 263. She's in 251. Again, I can click on the paperclip. I can find the correct section, the correct room, and my correct staff name, and I simply save it. So if I copy over my sections and I need to make corrections to them or anything like that, this is how I can do it. It's just clicking here. Same thing here. Let's say this shouldn't have been A down 150. It should have been 160 because we are using a different code this year. I can simply do the same thing. I can click on the paperclip. I can find the correct section number or the correct course number, switch it, and save it. Okay. I can do the same here. Maybe this one is moving from the first period to fourth period. And it's not going to be a semester one course. It's going to be a second semester course. I just simply make the changes right there in that section. And then when it goes through and does the scheduling, it's going to schedule it with these new selections. Again, most of your sections are probably set to include in attendance and including grading. If include in attendance is not set, students or teachers will not be able to take attendance in that class and they will not see it in teacher view. If include in grading is not selected, that class will not show up in their grade book and they will not be able to put in grades for it. The other thing that you can do in here, if you need to change it, is your max class size. So maybe this class is going from 30, but this year we're taking it down to 25. Just because that's what we need to do. So I can come in here and make that change as well. So this is how, if I copy my sections over, this is how I'm going to fix up those sections so that I know exactly when they're going to be placed this year, who's going to be teaching them in what room, and then any changes to my course ID. What you will see down here under the restrictions, so down under this blue line, this will tell you what grade levels this class is for. So anyone from 9th grade to a 5th year senior can take this class. Shows you the credits. Those come from the district course, so that's the credits that that course is worth. But notice over here is where I have my house, my team, and my term exclusion. I'm going to take that one out. That was from before. So if this were a blue house, remember we did our blue house. If this were a teacher that was part of the blue house, and this course needed to be assigned to students who are in the blue house, I would simply click my house and I would click my blue house. That's how the system will know that a student who is in house A can be assigned to this course, which is house A. It will not let a House B student get into this course. However, if you have students who are not in a house, it will let them into this course. Team, same way. This was my English 9. Remember, I wanted it to keep the same teacher and the same period. So what I have to do for my team, and at my house too, say for my team, I wanted my English A and B to stay with the same teacher and the same period. I need to make sure that I go to all of my sections for English A and add this team code. Then I need to go to all of my sections of English B and I need to add this team code. That's how the system knows that those two courses in semester 1 and semester 2 are tied together. So that's the biggest thing with these teams and the term exclusion and the houses is you have to make sure if you have semesters or trimesters that you go into each of the sections for that course and that you put in the correct team or house or term exclusion. That's how the system knows what to do. Same for my term exclusion. So let's say this was my economics class. If this was my economics class, I need my government econ on here because I don't want this in the same term as government. So I'm going to put it here for my econ section. And then I'm going to go to my government section, which I'll pretend is here. I'm going to go to my government section and I'm going to put in my government econ. And that's how the system knows that that first section and that second section cannot be scheduled in the same term. They have to be scheduled in opposite terms. And so that's where those term exclusions will come in, and your team and your house. And if you happen to use pathways at some point, that second layer of a house and a team, if you happen to use those at some point, you would see a pathways box show up right here. I know there's a pathways tab up here, but that's not where the box shows up. Oh, now it does. Yes, you're right. Yeah. We'll include, have those in there right now. Okay. So that's where these are going to get put in. So that's how those codes that we created get set up in your sections so that that does what you are asking it to do. It keeps them together, it splits them apart, it keeps them in a house together, whatever it is that you might be doing.